Hi, I'm Sandy Uziak. I'm with Remax Results, and I am here today. Okay, we're going to keep going. So that's a mess up. I'm Sandy Uziak. I'm with Remax Results, and today's referral. I'm Sandy Uziak. I'm with Remax Results, and today's Realtor Referral Spotlight is shining on Margie McWilliams of Care Patrol. Margie, thank you for being here.
Sure, glad to.
Margie's going to tell us a little bit about what Care Patrol is. It is a senior-focused company. She's going to give us some information for seniors and about seniors, and maybe it will be useful to you either for yourself or for your loved one. So tell us a little bit about Care Patrol.
Sure. So Care Patrol is a senior advisory company. We help families who are starting to look at their loved ones and think, do they need more help at home? Do they need to possibly look at living in a senior serving community like an assisted living or an independent living community? Or, what exactly are their needs?
Okay. And so you go in and you kind of assess them in their situation. What do you look for?
Exactly. And that's a really good question, because what we do that's a little bit different is we have what's called a care discovery process.
Okay.
So we ask people if we're talking to their family, who is your loved one? What did they do for a living? What kind of activities, where they like to vacation? What kind of hobbies do they have? We ask a lot of questions about what they do now. Do they have groups of friends that they hang out with, or are they pretty much just sitting at home by themselves?
Okay.
Once we finish that, then we ask about their medical situation. Do they have any kind of memory loss? Do they have dementia? Do they have any chronic conditions that they need help with? Maybe they're diabetic and they can't really manage their injections every day by themselves. Do they need help? So things like that. Then we ask about, the very last thing we ask about is their budget. We ask what their monthly budget would be if they would need to move. Because that's often a major block for people. They're afraid if they call us and they say, oh, I only have mom and dad's pension, their Social Security, that's all I have, that we won't help them.
Right.
So that's a myth. We will still help. Of course, it takes funds to look at some of these options, but there are a lot of resources, and we're connected to the Department of Aging. We're connected to the county Department of Social Services. There are so many nonprofits, and we have a lot of these resources. If you're a veteran, there may be funds, or you're surviving spouse of a veteran, there could be pretty nice amounts of money that may be available to you to help supplement. So we help connect you with people that can give you more information about all of that.
Okay.
And our services are always free. Always free. We are paid if and only if someone decides to move to a community that does contract with us, and then that community pays us. Technically called a finder's fee is what I call it, because it's easy for people to understand. But we do not only take people to those places. Say that you're looking for yourself, and you've got 3 really good friends that are at community A, and you want to go where they are, and they don't contract with us, but you want to go tour there and talk to those people. We will set that up.
Okay.
We will go with them,
and they will facilitate. The facility will allow you, quote unquote, to come in even though you don't contract with them and show that person around.
Sure. Well, actually, what happens, and this is something that I think a lot of people aren't sure of either, is the community actually has a person, usually someone in sales and marketing, who facilitates the tour. They show us around. Sometimes I haven't been in the community as many times or maybe one of our clients, maybe it's a new place. So we go along simply to listen, take notes, pay attention, and then debrief with them after the tour. The community actually does the tour, because that's their area.
Sure.
So we're really there to be extra eyes and ears. Sort of like when you go to a doctor's appointment and people say, take a friend with you or take someone with you if you think you might be getting diagnostic news you don't understand. That's what
your other set of ears. It's almost like you're doing a showing in real estate.
It is exactly like that.
Taking them through this facility and seeing what they like, what they don't like, what you think it might be good for them.
Yep.
So that's
what it is. And it's
Okay.
also very interesting if we are working with families, sometimes that family member might love a brand new place with all the bells and whistles and bright, beautiful, and tons of activities. And once we walk through and they're like, oh, I loved it. And I'll say, what do you think loved one would say? Oh, well, they don't really do a whole lot of activities. They'd rather have sort of quiet, more home-like. That's
huge. That must be huge. Wow.
So sometimes what the loved one, what son or daughter or whoever it wants, may not be what grandma, mom, dad would like. They'd like something more quiet where they're not maybe so much going on that's confusing or upsetting. Right. And so we'll encourage them to take a look at other places. If they absolutely love community A, that's where they want to be. Then that's what we help make happen.
That's what you do. That's awesome.
Yep.
Are you in outside of Maryland also?
We are. We're all over the country. Okay. We're in 42 states besides Maryland and Virginia. Okay. Which is where the counties that we work with, that our franchise works with, cover. And we can say that you want to move to Arizona. We can connect with Care Patrol in Arizona.
So it's make a national, the referral. Well, 42 states, you said. Yeah. Almost national.
Yep. Okay. It's people purchase franchises just like any other kind of franchise, and our franchise owner happens to be a social worker. Okay. So that is a huge benefit to us.
That is huge
because the rest of us are not, but we've all been in the senior industry for a long time, senior care, and so she helps us decode some of the fears and worries that people often have because she's helped people for many years. Our franchise is about 6 years old. The company itself is 30 years old.
Okay. Okay, great. So as I've continued to grow my my business within the senior market, and I'm finding people that are ready to move out of their home, and they may be like very mentally cognizant and aware, but physically they need something else. They're ready for that next stage. Can you tell us really briefly what are the costs that you're seeing for facility for either assisted living or nursing?
Sure. So it really depends, but in general, and it depends on the county. We cover 4 counties, Loudoun in Virginia and 3 here in Central Maryland, and they're all very different. But generally speaking, you really need to have at least about $3,500 a month because remember that you're no longer having to buy groceries unless you really want certain snacks that you love because you get 3 meals a day. You get your room and board. You usually get help with your medications if you need it. And all those things are wrapped into that amount. Now, that's the low end.
I was going to say.
A more average amount is probably closer to $7,000 or $8,000 a month. Okay. And the newer places that really specialize in memory care, because that's a whole
different ballgame.
They can run upwards of $11,000, $12,000, $13,000.
Okay.
And then if you're looking at, so this happens a lot, got an email over the weekend, family, lady's been in assisted living, but can't stay at that level anymore. And she's going to need nursing home. Well, she has spent her money on assisted living and she's going to need medical assistance or Medicaid, long-term care Medicaid to help pay for her nursing. Nursing home care can run upwards of $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 a month.
Okay.
And in-home care 24/7, we just had someone look at that last week, $25,000 a month with this specific company for 24/7, someone with them 24/7, one-on-one to take care of them.
We have to do a whole other video on that. The cost that could be another hour. Yeah. All right, so we're going to cut it off. Okay. That is great information and things that I didn't know. I'm sure a lot of people out there aren't familiar with either. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is Margie McWilliams of Care Patrol of Frederick and Loudoun. And I'm Sandy Uziak with RE/MAX Results, wishing you a wonderful day. And thank you for watching our Realtor Referral Spotlight. Bye.
Bye.